Okay, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we got BMW M3 E46 here with us. If you know, you know about this car, that's all I'll say. So this one has been sat for about 3 years or so. It's been having some issues with this gearbox, which is all sorted now. But in doing so, what happened was the brakes got really bad. As you can see through the wheel, it's very rusty. Also, the brake disc is not looking the best. Pads are low, and this is happening in the front and the rear as well. So today we're going to get all of these brakes off, front and rear, and we're going to change them with genuine BMW disc and pads. So let's get started and then get these old brakes out and the new ones in. So let's go. Okay, so got the car jacked up, got the front left wheel off. You can see now closely how thin this brake disc is. So I'm just gonna measure the thickness of this brake disc and see what it's at. So this one's at 23.6 millimeters. I've got the new disc and pads here as well. This is the front left brake disc, genuine BMW parts. And if you look over here, it says the minimum thickness should be 26.4. So we are well below spec on that one. So good thing that we have it. And if I just hold this up next to it, you can see how much more thicker this new brake disc is compared to the old one. So let's get this old stuff out of the way, give it a good clean up here as well, and then go from there. Also on this side we have the wear sensor, so it goes into that box over there. If you're unsure of which way it goes or you forget, best thing to do before you take anything off, just take a picture, and then you can always go back to it if you get stuck. So I'm going to get this off, show you the next bit after. Let's go. Okay, so it's actually a few days later. We're picking this back up on the M3. Ran into a bit of an issue when I removed all of this over the weekend. I'll cover all of that going forward. Basically what I found was once I removed this caliper, it was leaking from the inside. So I'm not going to fit brand new disc and pads and then put on the leaky caliper. So we stopped work for the time being. The new parts have now arrived. We've got brake calipers for this car all round, front and rear. So we're going to be not only replacing the disc and pads, also we're going to be doing calipers all round. So let's get going. Now I did find out that once I removed everything, these brake disc screws are completely corroded. So I've got an extractor kit. I've had to drill them to get the extractor kit in there, and now I'm gonna attempt to remove these two. Once these two are off, the disc is okay to come off, and at the same time we'll get the rest of this off. I'll show you what the brake pads look like and where the caliper is leaking from, and then go from there. I wouldn't say this is a common issue with these cars, it's just because this one's sat for quite a long time. But no worries, we've got everything we need now, so we can crack on with it. So let's get going. Okay, so I've got this on now. Thankfully it's coming off. I know this is not the right tool for it, but if you ever get brake disc screws that are stuck, highly advise getting one of these extractor kits. They're cheap, you can find them on eBay or Amazon. I bought two because I didn't know which one would work best, but this one seems to be doing the job. So now it comes off, and as you can see, it doesn't damage the thread, and I've already bought new screws from BMW, so when the new brakes go on, we can pop them back on. So I'm gonna get the other side off now and then catch up with all of you when I get that brake caliper off. Let's go. Okay, so I've got the brake disc screws out. Thread looks okay, just a little dirty, a bit corroded. We can clean all that up. So a quick tip, when you're doing your brakes, whether it's on the floor or on the ramp, always a good idea to put one of the wheel bolts back in. So this way, when you're taking things off, if this brake disc get loose, it doesn't have a chance to drop on you on your feet. So brake disc can be heavy on some cars, especially
the bigger brake discs on the front. So doing this will always make sure that if it comes off, at least it won't fall on you. So quick tip there. So now we're going to go on, get all of this off, and then I'll show you the caliper. Okay, brake calipers off. You never want to let your brake calipers hang on the hose. I've just put an axle stand here. I mean, this one, it doesn't really matter, I suppose. We're changing it anyway. But just want to show you the pads. Let's get this guy out. Oh, look at that. So this one's pretty bad. If you think this is bad, this one ain't even got anything on it. It's just on the metal, and he's already started to cut into the side of the disc as well. The disc is starting to cut into the side of the pad, and you can see fluid's been getting on there. And if you move along to the piston, you can see where it's just all corroded. And down here, just get the light. Don't know if the camera can pick this up, but it's all wet at the bottom there. So every time you put your foot on the brake, it will leak. It's not leaking quite quickly, it's not like flooding out, but it just leaks a little bit, then it stops. So this is very dangerous, because if you're driving and it's doing this, eventually you're just going to run out of all your brake fluid, and then your brakes are not going to be any good at all. So no worries, we've got new brake calipers in the box. So I'm going to get the rest of these off now, and then we can go ahead and start putting all of this back. So let's go. Okay, so the new brake caliper is on the front left. I've tightened the brake hose, just need to clean it up and bleed them. Resting it up there for the time being. This is the old one. So you can see how much corrosion is on this piston. So it's good that we got all of these new ones to go on. We're not going to get rid of this. This is the genuine one that came with the car, so we're going to get this rebuilt, because these are coming a little hard to find now, and they're expensive to buy from the dealer. So we're going to get these redone and then pop them back on the car at some point. These ones are not genuine, they're just aftermarket ones, but it'll do the job for now. So I'm going to get the rest of this off, give it a good clean, and then we'll get the new disc and pads put on. So let's go. So these are the new screws from BMW. What I will always do is just put just a little bit of grease, just a small amount, so it goes in with it. That way next time when it comes off, it's not going to put up so much of a fight. And there you go. Okay, this side's fully done now. I got the brakes bled as well. See all the dirty brake fluid in there. So now I can put the wheel on, torque it down, and then let's move on to the other side. So let's go. Okay, I'm in the other side now. These two are so much more worse. I've got the heads of them off, so the brake disc will come off and we can put the new one on, but there is still part of it stuck in there. So once the brake disc is off, I'm going to try and drill that out. If not, I'm going to put the brake disc for the time being, get some more drill bits, get some more of these extractors, and then have another go. I've already got the screws there with me. It's not the end of the world, because once the brake disc is on and the wheel goes on, it will sit in place, it's not going anywhere. But for the time being, I've got to get this changed. It's getting dark, so I'm going to get the rest of this stuff off, get it all cleaned and swapped out. Let's go from there. And then after that, I think I'm going to pack it up and continue with the back of the car
tomorrow. So let's go. Okay, got the brake disc on, got the new caliper on as well for the driver's side front. Got the old parts over here. If we quickly look at this brake caliper, this one's not leaking, but if we peel this cover back, you can see how much corrosion is there on that piston. So behind this boot, it's really bad. This is why the other side as well has already started leaking, so this one's probably not far behind as well. So I'm glad we're changing all 4 of them. So it's getting a bit dark here now, so I'm going to finish this up and then we'll continue tomorrow. So okay, so I've got this side done. I've got the brake spread as well, so it's all complete. I'm going to put the wheel on, then clear up. As you can see, it's completely dark. I can't continue working on the back now, so we're going to button everything up here, put everything back, and then we'll continue tomorrow. So let's go. Okay, so it's the next day. I've got the rear right hand side wheel off, ready to get all of these old brakes off. Before we get started, I just wanted to say, if the sound on this video is a little bit bad, I do apologize. It's because my mic broke halfway through when we were doing the front brakes. I'm using a different mic and I don't know if the quality is going to be any better or not. I've got another one on order. It will be here next week, so just wanted to apologize if the sound is bad. Anyway, let's get back to the video. So this side brake caliper is actually decent. It is going back, it's not leaking. Out of all the brake calipers on this car, this is the only one that's doing what it should be doing, but we're still going to replace it because we've got the new pads and the discs and the brake calipers. So, and this one, you can see it's the original one, so might as well take it off and send it along with all the other ones to get rebuilt. So today we're going to take all this off and then get all the new parts on. Also, the 2 screws, we got lucky, they're just coming off. We don't need to drill, we don't need to extract, so it's all good. So let's get going, then we'll get this side knocked out. Okay, so got the brake pads off, got the caliper off. These pads, this one doesn't look too bad. Some might even say, oh, it's got life left on it, but wait till you see the other side. It's completely different to that. So just wanted to show something here. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but when you're removing the rear brakes, you want to be careful because there are handbrake shoes inside here. So what you don't want to do is take the screws off, take all this off, and then just try and take the brake disc off, because if the handbrake shoes are touching on the inside here and you don't back them off, you're just going to be forcing it out, and they're secured to the backing plate. So if you get like a hammer and you start hitting the brake disc this way, it can pull the handbrake shoes out with it as well and then damage everything. So you can access it through one of the wheel bolt holes. So you can just put a screwdriver in there, turn the brake disc until you see the adjuster which is in there. I don't think the camera will pick it up, to be honest with you, but I'll show it once this comes off. So what you want to do is get a flat blade screwdriver, back this off fully, and then you can safely take the brake disc off. As you can see, it's off now. So get this off, get it all cleaned up behind there. We'll inspect it as well, make sure nothing's seized up and nothing's broken, and then we can get the new brake disc on and we can get this caliper off. So let's go. Okay, so got the new brake disc on, got the new caliper on pads, where since I've got it running back through and into over there. So I'm just going to bleed the brakes, and then this will get attached to that, and then this bit will be tucked in. So when you put the brake disc back on, you have to readjust your handbrake shoes. So what you need to do is adjust it until you can't adjust it no more, and then get them to expand out, and then you shouldn't be able to move the brake disc. And then when you can't move it, back it off 10 clicks, and then that will put the handbrake where it needs to be, because you don't want to have it too loose that it doesn't work, and you don't want to have it too tight that while you're driving it's on and it's binding. So once it's done, you can check the handbrake, you can double check, rotate the brake disc, make sure that it's turning freely and it's not getting stuck, and then good to go. So I'm going to wrap things up here and then move on to the other side. So let's get going.
Okay, so the final one, passenger side rear. So this is the one that's got the seized caliper. So I'm gonna get all this off now, get it swapped out, and then we can get this car back on the road. So let's go. Okay, so got the brake pads out, got the seized caliper out as well, got the brake hose undone from there. I've clamped it off over there so you're not going to lose any fluid. So just want to compare the brake pads. So these two are the left, these two are the right. You can see the wear sensor still on it, the old one. So if you pick these up, you can see this has still got life left on these brake pads. The sensor's not even cut yet. But if you come over to these two, you can see the difference. If I just take one pad each, you can see how badly that's worn. So it's a good thing we have everything we need and we are changing this guy. I did remove this earlier off camera and tried to push this out and then tried to push it back in a little bit, try to get it to free up, but it just doesn't want to budge. So we're just gonna take it off and replace it. From what I can see, it looks like this is one of the genuine calipers as well, so this one as well will be sending off to get rebuilt, and then eventually it will go back on the car. So I'm going to crack on, get this off. It's the same as the other side. Back off the handbrake shoes, then you can get the brake disc off, clean it, put it back on, and then adjust it back up. So let's get going. Okay, so the new brake disc is on, cleaned it all. New caliper is on. I've just got it hanging there on the coil spring. Just want to show this old brake caliper. You can see how much corrosion is on there, and this is just like the front right hand side caliper. It's just fully corroded on the inside, so glad this is out. So no more binding brakes. We got new disc and pads on every single corner, so gonna get this buttoned up, get this side bled as well, and then the car is fully bled, all the brake fluid. So then we can start it up, take it for a drive, see how it goes. So let's go. Okay, so that's the last side completed. New brake disc, pads, and the new caliper, everything's on. Also adjusted the handbrake shoes as well, so now the handbrake feels good. One last thing to do, which is to bleed this caliper, then we can get the tyre back on, get the car on the floor, to torque up all the wheels, and then we can hit the road. So I'm going to get this bled and then show you the next part. Okay, that's everything completed on this M3. Just do a little walk around. So this is the passenger side front, driver side front, and the driver side rear. So that's it. Seems happy, no warning lights, nothing on the dash. So gonna take it for a drive now and then see how it goes. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram. We've just started a new TikTok page as well, so I'll be dropping the link for that as well. Make sure to go give us a follow, and thank you for all the support, all the likes and all the comments. We'll see you on the next one.